Somewhere right now, someone is living in less space than most people's living room, and their home looks better than yours. No loft ladder, no cramped bathroom you have to back out of, a real bedroom on the ground floor, a kitchen that doesn't feel like a hallway, and a design so good you'd never guess the entire home is under 350 square feet. Today I'm showing you exactly what inside the most talked about tiny homes of 2026. The real costs, the real trends, and the one design flaw that almost nobody selling you a tiny house dream will actually mention. Right after Hook 035, before we get into it, subscribe now, because at the end of this video I'm going to break down the actual monthly cost of living in one of these, including the number almost nobody puts in their marketing. If you leave early, you're going to miss the part that decides whether this lifestyle is actually for you. So stay with me. Here's the shift that's actually happening in 2026. Tiny homes used to be a compromise. Now they're being designed like genuinely luxurious spaces that just happen to be small. The biggest change is the ground floor bedroom. For years, almost every tiny house put the bed in a loft you climb a ladder to reach, just to free up floor space below. Full-time tiny house residents hated it, and builders finally listened. In 2026, ground floor bedrooms are increasingly the standard for anyone actually planning to live in a home long-term, not just visit on weekends. The second shift is what designers are calling warm minimalism. Instead of stark white boxes, 2020X's small spaces lean into rich, grounding tones, natural wood, and a handful of intentional statement pieces, instead of a dozen small decorative ones. The idea is simple. A small space filled with clutter feels smaller. A small space with one beautiful, deliberate piece feels curated. And here's a detail most people miss. Vertical space is doing more work than ever. Floor-to-ceiling cabinetry, hanging storage, and lofted nooks used for a study or a walk-in closet instead of a bedroom are turning wasted height into functional square footage that never shows up in the listed floor plan. Let's talk about the actual design techniques, because this is the part you can steal for your own home even if you never buy a tiny house. Mirrors are back in a massive way for small spaces in 2026. Not just a single mirror on a wall, but full mirrored paneling and even mirrored backsplashes, specifically used to visually double a room's depth. Then there's color drenching, painting the walls, trim, and even the ceiling of a small room in one continuous deep tone. It sounds like it should make a room feel smaller. It does the opposite. It removes the visual breaks that make your eye register where a small room actually ends. So the whole space reads as one uninterrupted volume instead of a box with edges. Smart home integration has also gotten a lot more subtle. We're talking lighting that shifts with your circadian rhythm, speakers hidden inside the walls instead of sitting on shelves, and automated window treatments. The kind of tech that used to be reserved for sprawling luxury homes, now built into 300 square foot spaces, because every visible gadget in a tiny home eats into the sense of calm the space is trying to create. And the furniture itself has changed shape. Rounded, organic silhouettes, curved daybeds, bubble chairs, soft-edged nooks are being used deliberately to break up the straight lines that a tiny home is otherwise full of wall-to-wall to bed-to-counter. Okay, now the part everyone actually wants to know. What does one of these cost? The honest answer is, it depends enormously on which tiny home you're picturing, because the term covers everything from a bare-bones shell to a fully custom luxury build. Factory direct shell kits start around $29,000. A fully finished, livable tiny home typically lands somewhere between $60,000 and $95,000, with a national median sitting close to $60,000 to $70,000 for something genuinely move-in ready. Push into custom territory. Solar systems, premium finishes, top-tier insulation, and costs can climb past $120,000, with some fully custom luxury builds running $250,000 or more. Compare that to a typical new American home in 2026, which is landing somewhere around $470,000 to $520,000. Even at the higher end, a tiny home is still a fraction of that cost. And the ongoing bills tell a similar story. A standard tiny home uses a small fraction of the energy a typical house needs, often under 3,000 kilowatt hours a year versus roughly 15,000 for an average home, which is a big part why a large share of tiny homeowners report carrying no mortgage at all. So yes, the sticker price is real, and the lifestyle savings are real too. Here's the part one promise you at the top, and it's the one thing that trips up more buyers than the price tag ever does. Where you're actually allowed to put one of these. A large share of U.S. municipalities still have zoning rules that either restrict or completely exclude tiny homes from residential areas. That single fact has derailed more tiny home plans than any construction cost ever has. Because you can build the most beautiful 300 square foot home in the country and still not legally be allowed to park it where you want to live. Financing is the other quiet obstacle. Traditional mortgage lenders are often hesitant to finance tiny homes, especially ones on wheels, because they don't fit the standard model lenders use to judge risk and resale value. Most buyers end up financing through RV loans, personal loans, or paying in cash instead of conventional mortgage. None of this means tiny homes are a bad idea. It means the real homework isn't picking a floor plan. It's figuring out, before you spend $1, exactly where you're legally allowed to live in one. So who's actually doing this? The data paints a pretty specific picture. The majority of tiny house owners are millennials, drawn in by flexibility, lower cost, and freedom from a decades-long mortgage. And it's not just individuals. Tiny home communities have been popping up across states like California, Colorado, Texas, and North Carolina, complete with shared amenities and long-term leases, turning what used to be an informal parking arrangement into an actual planned neighborhood. A good number of owners aren't even living in theirs full-time. They're renting them out. Short-term nightly rates for a well-designed tiny home can bring in real income, and long-term tenants are paying monthly rates too, which is part why tiny homes have quietly become a small but genuine corner of the real estate investment world, not just a lifestyle choice. Here's my honest take after going through all of this. The interiors genuinely are as good as they look on camera now. The ground floor bedrooms, the warm color palettes, the hidden storage, that part is an illusion. But the thing that decides whether this works for you isn't the design. It's whether you've actually checked the zoning in the place you want to live, and whether you're being honest with yourself about downsizing your entire life into a few hundred square feet. Permanently, not just for a cozy weekend in a photo. So, the tiny home interior you weren't expecting? It's real. The cost savings? Also real. The one thing that can quietly ruin the whole plan? Zoning every single time. If this changed how you think about small space living, subscribe. Next up, I'm touring the exact luxury tiny homes breaking six figures and showing you where every one of those dollars actually went. Comment below and tell me, could you actually live in under 400 square feet? Or is that a hard no for you? I read every comment.